Hello, good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You guys have everybody, you ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, if everyone could please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm any information that you tell the court today will be the truth? If so, say I do and lower your hands. Okay, you can have a seat. Give me one moment. I got to get these dates. I'll be right back. All right, this is your first appearance in Clayton County Magistrate Court. I'm Judge Bando, and I'm here to tell you about what your charges are, what your bond amount is if you have a bond set. We're not here to take a plea in your case or to have a trial. As you see, there are no witnesses or officers here. So that's all we're gonna do is schedule you a preliminary hearing if you decide to have one, or waive it over to state court. You do have certain rights that I must advise you about, so listen up closely to this. You have a right to a presumption of innocence. You have a right to indictment by grand jury on most felonies and accusation for misdemeanors. You have a right to a speedy and public jury trial. You have a right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have a right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your own behalf. You have a right to testify on your own behalf, and you have a right to have an attorney to represent you if you are unable to afford one. Some of you will have unrestricted bonds, which means that you'll be able to go through a bonding company to post your bond, and they take about anywhere from 10 to 15% to secure your release from custody. And that percent that they charge you, that's the amount of money that they charge to actually make that bond. So you don't get that back. You can also go through the sheriff's office and post a cash bond. If you decide to do that, you have to post the entire amount of the bond in cash to the sheriff's office to secure your release. And at the end of your case, you'll get that money back minus some administrative fees. The final option you have is to use a property bond, which means you would have to have real estate, and it has to have 3 times the equity amount of whatever your bond is in order to secure your release. And once your case is closed, then that will conclude that matter. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that will prohibit you from contacting a certain person or prohibit you from returning to a certain location. It's important that you follow the court's order because your bond can be revoked and you can be charged with aggravated stalking, in which you will not be entitled to a bond while you wait for your trial date. So it's very important that you follow the court's order and don't contact the person that I asked you not to have contact with, or don't return to a location that I've asked you not to go back to. The next thing is important because you all are going to have to make this decision. You'll have to let me know if you want to have a preliminary hearing. If you decide that you want to have a preliminary hearing, what that is a court date, a hearing date, where the state would have to prove that it's probable that you have committed the crimes that you are alleged to have committed. It's a very low burden. And if you decide that you want to have that preliminary hearing date, the next time you'll be in court, if you're charged with a felony, it's going to be August the 11th. And if you have misdemeanor charges, that court date is August the 10th. So please keep that in mind, because I'll ask you if you want to have a preliminary hearing or if you want to waive it. So if you actually make your bond before that date, you won't have that preliminary hearing date, and you'll receive notice when you're to return back to court. So with all that being said, we're gonna start the calendar, and the first person will be Ms. Bond. B-U-N Bond. Ms. Bond, you've been charged with disorderly conduct. Your bond is $1,500 and terroristic threats is $3,000. You cannot go back to 93 Upper Riverdale Road in Riverdale, Georgia, which is the QT. Do you understand that, ma'am? So are you working or do you have a job? Because you just put NA on this form.
No, I put NA because I don't have a job. I was reading it too fast. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Okay. No problem.
He told me to put NA. He told me if I don't have a job, put NA. That what he told me to do?
It's okay. It's okay. I got it. I hear you. I got it. So I've appointed you an attorney because you're not working based on your application. Did you want to have a preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it to state court?
Waive it.
Okay. So it's a paper that you have to sign over there. Make sure I can understand your handwriting so I know that it's your form. And I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Thank you, ma'am.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
How many days I gotta wait to go to court?
If you're not gonna make your bond, you'll be, I think they usually take anywhere from 7 to 10 days. But you'll have a lawyer that'll come see you this week if you don't make bond. They'll be there next week to see you.
Okay.
All right. Miss Easley Canaris. Miss Canaris, how do you know Miss McKenzie?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay. I wasn't sure, so I saw you both are here. You've been charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $1,000. Both of you have special conditions on your bond, so you can't have contact with her, and hers is likewise the same. Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing or you want to waive it?
You can waive it.
You say you want to waive it?
Yeah.
All right, so make sure you sign that paperwork and I can understand your handwriting. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you and your bond is $1,000.
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, you wouldn't happen to have a copy of them waiver forms, would you?
No, they didn't print. I don't have, not for her. So you don't have any waiver forms over there?
Yeah, like a blank copy of them, I could print out.
You probably have some somewhere, I'm sure.
I'll see if I can find some.
Okay. All right.
Something in it.
Miss Hodrick. All right, Ms. Hodrick, you've been charged with cruelty to children. Your bond is $2,000. Would you like to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Waive.
Okay. When he gets those forms, when you sign it, make sure I can understand your handwriting. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hoffman?
Your Honor, she was released earlier.
OTB.
Oh, okay. Ms. Mayfield? Ms. Mayfield, you've been charged with driving on a suspended license. That bond is $1,500. Failure to use your brake like a signal is $500. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive?
Waive.
Okay. You will likewise need to complete the waiver form, and based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. Miss McCleod. You've been charged with aggravated assault. Your bond has been denied. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing, or did you want to wait?
Keep.
All right. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be on August the 11th. You have a bond hearing date set for August the 13th. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Thank you. All right, Ms. McKenzie.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. McKenzie. You heard earlier that you have the same conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact with Kiera Easley Canaris. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. One second. All right, your bond on terroristic threats to acts is 1,000. Crossing the guard line is 1,000. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing, or you want to waive it?
Waive it.
Okay. When he gets those forms, make sure you sign it and I can understand your handwriting. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. McPherson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You've been charged with conspiracy to defraud the state. The bond is 500. No insurance is 1,000. Concealing the ID motor vehicle is 500. Unregistered vehicle is 500, and expired tag is 500. So your total bond is $3,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing, or did you want to waive it?
I'll waive it, Your Honor.
Okay. And based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. When he brings those forms, make sure I can understand your handwriting so I know it's your form.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, that completes the female.
What happened to Patterson? Oh, I'm sorry, that's a male. I got it. All right,
Have a good weekend.
you too.
Hey, Your Honor, before we get started on the males, I have a Cody Wilson on the male side. I have a CAA form, but he wasn't officially on my calendar, on my roster. Do you need him?
You said it was Wilson?
Yes, ma'am. He advised me.
Yeah, I have his paperwork.
Yeah, but he wasn't officially on the actual list.
Oh,
Only reason why we got him out because he was on the CAA form list. And he stated he already had first appearance.
oh, you know what? He was on here. He's on the second page. He the only one on the second page. That's probably what happened.
Okay, I got you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
The first one, Mr. Dowdy, he's a fugitive from justice. Gonna do the fugitive from justice last?
Yeah, we're gonna do the fugitives last.
Okay. Griffin? Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Griffin. You've been charged with aggravated assault. The bond is 25,000 and DUI is 5,000. You can't have any contact with Jared Brown. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, ma'am. And quick question. Can you repeat the bond amount, please?
$30,000 total.
Okay.
Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing or would you like to waive it?
If I waive it, what's my other option?
If you keep it, your court date is August the 11th. If you waive it, you may have a court date in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Thank you. That's all. I don't want to waive it. I just wanted to
Okay,
add.
no problem. So it'll be on August the 11th. And based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
How you doing, Your Honor?
All right, one moment. Are you Mr. Harmon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Harmon, you've been charged with criminal damage in the second degree. That bond is 2,000. Battery, family violence is 3,000. So your total bond is 5,000. You can't have any contact with Keviana Turks Wilder. Do you understand that?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand that, right? Okay. Did you want to keep your preliminary hearing or you want to waive it?
I'm more. Cause if I bind out, it's gonna change anyway, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I keep that in.
All right. So the court date will be on August the 10th. And based on this application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
You said my total bond is 5,000.
Yeah, it's 5,000.
I'll be able to go to a bonding company with that.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Would I be able to go to a bonding company with that?
Yeah, it'll be about 15% through a bonding company.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Hannah Ryan and Hemingway Lee, they were seen yesterday from my understanding. Both of them were fugitives from justice. And we'll be skipping down to Patterson.
What happened? You don't have a park, Jeffrey Park?
Well, he was at the Patterson.
No, I don't have a Patterson.
Timothy Dwight Patterson.
Mm-mm. Let me make sure. Okay, I see Patterson.
Step up.
All right, are you Mr. Patterson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Patterson, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery and criminal trespass to damage to property. Your bond has been denied. Do you want to keep your preliminary hearing? Or you want to waive?
I'm gonna keep my preliminary.
All right, it's gonna be on August 11th. And let's see here. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, are you Mr. Park?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Park, you've been charged with simple battery. There was insufficient probable cause to keep that charge, so that charge was dismissed. And you were charged with public drunk, and that bond is $1,000. Would you like to keep your preliminary hearing, or did you want to waive it?
I'll waive it, Your Honor.
All right. Just fill out that form when he comes back with him at some point. And you actually make too much money to qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so you'll have to hire your own attorney.
Right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Are you Mr. Reeves?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you've been charged with failure to use your brake lights, that's 500. Driving on a suspended license is 1,500. 3 counts of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and it's 3,000 each count. And possession of low THC oil is 3,000. So your total bond is $14,000. You want to keep your preliminary hearing, or did you want to waive it?
Keep it, Your Honor.
All right, it'll be on August the 11th. And based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care. All right, are you Mr. Wilson?
No, ma'am.
What's your name?
Shamushika.
Okay. Mr. Shakai, you were charged with criminal trespass. There was insufficient probable cause to keep the charge, so your charge has been dismissed. That's it, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm needing a waiver.
All right, are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, no, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Wilson, you've been charged with criminal damage to property, disorderly conduct, and aggravated reckless conduct. Your bond has been denied on these charges. You want to keep your preliminary hearing, or do you want to waive it?
I want to keep it.
It's going to be on August the 11th, and then you'll have a bond date on August the 13th.
I have a question. Is those charges you just said the misdemeanors?
No, so you have a bond set on a misdemeanor. It's just the felony count you don't. The bond on reckless conduct is 50,000 and fighting words is 1,500. The criminal damage is a felony, and that one you don't have a bond set.
So what's all my charges I have?
Those are the 3 charges that you have, the ones I just called out.
So I don't have, because I have came to a first appearance before, and I had to get the fellow with a firearm. I got denied bond because probation.
No, you got denied bond based on the allegations.
Right. So I don't have a bond here on July 30th.
No, when did they charged you, so these are criminal warrants. So were you arrested like right then on the spot, or did they come and get you later?
I got arrested June 10th, and I had first appearance. I had 2 charges, I had a misdemeanor, and I had a felony. They denied the felony.
So what it sounds like happened is they may have arrested you then, it's on warrantless arrest affidavits. And then the detective, after he did an investigation and did survey, because I see he noted that he looked at surveillance cameras, then that's when they went and got these criminal warrants from a judge.
Right.
On the 24th.
So the other charges I had before, they're not my charges no more.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing they brought to me was these charges that they just took out on the 24th.
Okay.
So this is probably what happened after they investigated, the
Right.
detectives, they went and swore out these warrants and got the criminal warrants after you were arrested.
They all felonies.
No, so you only have, one of them is felony, the other two are misdemeanors, which is why you have a bond on the other two, because they misdemeanors.
Right, and then the felony don't have a bond.
Right. So, so you have a lawyer, so they'll be able to kind of get all of that together. So you said they already gave you a preliminary hearing date for what day?
When I had my first bond here, my first appearance on the 11th, they said I got a preliminary here on the 27th of July, and I got a bond.
Well, this can't be, so this must be for something different, because this happened, what these bonds are for, this is for the South Lake Mall parking lot on June the 10th.
That's when I got arrested for all at the same
Okay.
day.
All right.
I had a bond here in July.
So that's what happened. After they finished the investigation, they went and got these warrants. So that's what sounds like happened. So I want to put all this on the same date. I'm gonna confirm what you're saying, but you said it was July to what date?
I had 2 dates. I had a preliminary on the 27th, and then I had a bond here on July 30th.
Okay, so you have a preliminary date July 27th, and then you have a bond hearing date on July 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna put these on the same date so everything will stay together.
Okay, thank you.
Did you already have a lawyer come see you?
I've been trying to get somebody to come see me for the past couple of weeks. I ain't had nobody come see me.
So okay, so I'm gonna make sure I send this form so they'll see that, so somebody will come see you.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, all right.
Hey. Next is Dadiana, next to a fugitive.
You said who is, this is Mr. Dowdy?
Yes, ma'am.
What other, do we still have Mr. Mitchell?
We do.
Okay,
You want them both at the same time?
as long as they can hear me, yeah, because this sound to say the same thing twice, this is a lot.
You coming up, y'all?
Okay. Good morning, how you doing? All right, so there's a lot of information that I have to tell you. So I want you to listen closely so you can make an informative decision. So this is what we call an extradition hearing. And all of the rights that I had said earlier today also apply to you in your case, but your appearance is a little different because you don't have charges out of Clayton County. You've been brought to court today because you, Mr. Dowdy, it's alleged that you have a charge out of Indiana for child neglect, warrant number W260306-305. And then there's indication that they have indicated that they will extradite. And then you, Mr. Mitchell, there's alleged that you have charges out of Miami-Dade Police Department, Miami, Florida, for grand theft, warrant number 202780 CF10A. And that's also indicated it was a felony and that they will also extradite. All right, so you, Mr. Dowdy, have been charged from the state of Indiana, where you have a charge for child neglect. You may choose to contest your extradition, or you can decide that you want to waive your formal extradition process and return back to Indiana without going through it. If you decide that you want to, and Mr. Mitchell, you are a fugitive from the state of Florida, and you were wanted for a grand theft, and you also can contest your extradition, or you can waive it and voluntarily return to Florida. So if you decide that you want to contest your extradition, you will be committed to the Clayton County Jail for an initial period of 30 days. During this time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signature for your extradition, you, Mr. Dowdy, to Indiana, and Mr. Mitchell to Florida. The court may consider allowing you to post a bond. The court is not required to do so, and at first appearance, it's the policy that we don't set bonds on fugitive cases. If you do not wish to voluntarily return Mr. Dowdy to Indiana and Mr. Mitchell to Florida, you may file a petition for writ of habeas corpus, where you can contest your extradition. The petition can only contest four things: whether the extradition documents are in order on their face, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the state that's requesting you, whether you are the person named in the request and whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest your innocence or guilt in this state. You would have to do that in the state that's requesting demanding you. You are entitled to an attorney to help you decide what you want to do, but it's no automatic right. So, Mr. Dowdy, did you want to contest your extradition, or did you want to waive it and voluntarily return back to Indiana?
So basically waiving it is basically saying that I'll whatever measure they use to get me there, I'm accepting that.
No, so it's not a contesting innocence or guilt. Is, do you want to stay here in Clayton County for 30 days, or do you want to waive it and go back to Indiana and get your issue resolved?
That's what I'm saying. So, excuse me, ma'am, if I waive it, I'm saying, like, does that mean that it will?
You're waiving it, saying I'm not contesting them coming picking me up.
Because I'm not contesting them coming to pick me up. It's just the way that they did it. I've did it before. It was unhumane and stuff, and it just was painful. I don't want to go that way. I'm wondering, is there another way they can get me there? I would go. I just don't want to go on the back of a truck for 8 days again. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I understand it. So I'm not allowed to set a bond. So either you're gonna be here in Clayton County or however they come and pick you up.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna wait till they come give me another way or talk to my lawyer about it. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so you're gonna contest the extradition? All right. And Mr. Mitchell, what are you gonna do? You wanna waive your extradition, or did you wanna contest your extradition?
I'm ready to go.
All right, they have all the waiver, they should have all the waiver forms. There are 7 of them, and they require your signature on, okay, there you go. So sign those over to me, sign them, and they'll give them to me, and we'll get them to Florida. So they'll come and pick you up.
And how long will it take them? They got like 30 working days? Is it working days or is it?
No, it's usually doesn't take that long, but I personally can't guarantee you a time when they're gonna come.
I'm ready to go. I've been here 14 months. I'm ready to go.
Okay, that's the quickest way to get out of here is by waiver. Or else you'll be sitting here for another month.
I'm ready to go.
All right, no problem. All right, thank you.
Thank you
Have a good day.
I got a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Like, what if I go call my lawyer and talk to him, would it be a chance I could come back and sign this when I talk to somebody real quick, or is this why?
Oh, yeah. So you won't come back. You won't have another first appearance. Your lawyer would have to get the forms from the jail or from our office to fill them out.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's everybody, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Every day.